Germany going to extradite Carles Puigdemont back to Spain? Hello and welcome to Catalan News. The future of the deposed Catalan president is in the hands of a judge in the German state of Schleswig-Holstein. Puigdemont was arrested on Sunday in Germany just after crossing his border with Denmark while he was on his way to Belgium. Spain wants him back to judge him for rebellion and misuse of public funds for his role in the referendum and independence declaration. This means he could spend up to 40 years in jail if found guilty. 4 of his ministers, now in exile in Belgium and Scotland, are also wanted by the Spanish judiciary, as is the Secretary General of the other big pro-independence party in Catalonia, Esquerra Republicana. Here at Catalan News, we'll get you the latest on all of this, as well as how the politicians back home are reacting to the case. A new and dramatic twist in the independence saga. Carles Puigdemont, the leader of the independence movement who has been living abroad since the declaration of a Catalan republic, spent the night in prison on Sunday after being arrested by German police. And he will do so again tonight. A judge in Germany decided today that Puigdemont should stay behind bars while they decide whether to extradite him or not. That is a very different approach to that taken by Belgian authorities in November. In Brussels, they allowed Puigdemont to walk free with precautionary measures. The Spanish Secret Services followed Puigdemont's car from Finland to Germany, where they alerted police and urged them to arrest him following a European arrest warrant. Now an arduous judicial process to decide on his extradition is starting, but his detention caused shockwaves both in Catalonia and abroad.
Carles Puigdemont testified today in a German court after spending a night in New Munster prison in the north of Germany while waiting for a decision on his possible extradition to Spain. Puigdemont's detention made headlines around the world and sparked protests in Catalonia. Thousands took to the streets after learning of Puigdemont's detention. Protesters demanded the release of Catalan officials, including Puigdemont, whom they described as political prisoners. While protests were held in many towns across Catalonia, Barcelona saw the largest demonstrations. The tension between demonstrators and police was particularly high around the Spanish government delegation in the Catalan capital. Riot police intervened to break up some protests, leaving nearly 100 people injured and 9 arrested. After a night of blocked roads and tense protests across Catalonia, Puigdemont said that now is no time for violence, in a message from prison passed on by his wife. The deposed Catalan leader was detained on Sunday morning in Germany, close to the Danish border. Puigdemont was making his way back to Belgium, where he has sought refuge from the Spanish judiciary since October. A Spanish court reactivated a European arrest warrant against him after he left Belgium to attend a debate. On the same day, Puigdemont learned that he is to be prosecuted for rebellion and misuse of public funds and faces up to 40 years in jail. Protests calling for Puigdemont's release continue today, with some lawyers and public workers demonstrating to demand the release of the imprisoned Catalan leaders.
4 countries are to decide the fate of the members of leading figures of the Catalan pro-independence movement. Germany, Belgium, Scotland and Switzerland have to resolve the extradition request made by Spain against Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont, 4 of his ministers and the Secretary General of Esquerra Republicana, Marta Rovira. Puigdemont is in Germany. His ministers Serret, Puig and Comín are in Belgium. Sacked minister Clara Ponsatí is in Scotland, while Rovira is thought to be seeking refuge in Switzerland. Every country has different legislations, so some might extradite them and others might decide not to do so. In order to analyse this, we can speak now with Jordi Nieva Fenoy. He is a professor of procedural law at the University of Barcelona. Hello, Mr. Nieva.
Hello.
What timing can we expect for the extradition process faced by Carles Puigdemont in Germany?
Well, in principle, we can expect that in about 2 months we shall have a decision over this matter. Well, I don't know if it will be in 2 months or in 3 months or even in a year, but the normal case in these situations is that we have a resolution in about 2 months.
In Spain, Puigdemont faces criminal charges of rebellion. What would it be its equivalent in the German criminal code?
Well, it doesn't exist the word. I mean, it does exist the crime. The crime is high treason. High treason is how it is called. It is not called rebellion. Also, if they know the word rebellion, but I mean the act, the fact that is judged with this crime is more or less the same. So the facts that occurred in Spain, that happened in Spain, are more or less the same that would be judged in Germany as high treason. treason. So in these terms, it won't be a problem to judge Puigdemont as a person that shall be delivered through this European arrest warrant to Spain because of this high treason rebellion in Spain.
And what's the criteria for determining whether a person is guilty of the crime of high treason or not?
Well, the criteria are more or less the same as in Spain, and the most important thing is that the person that was accused of rebellion shall be violent. What does this violence mean? Well, this violence does not mean a mild violence. It has to be something very big, something very grievous, something that is really important, relevant. It's not just the violence that you can have in a meeting in the streets, or maybe some riots, but dispersed riots. I mean, not a riot. It has to be something generalized, something that really stops a country, that really frightens the people, but I mean in general. So it shall be a really relevant violence, not any violence.
Puigdemont is in Germany, but there are also Catalan leaders facing extradition orders in Belgium, Switzerland and the UK. What can we expect from these countries?
Well, I mean, it is very likely that Puigdemont will be delivered, will be extradited. Well, in the case of the others, they are in different countries, and in these matters of extradition, the ideology, the mentality of every country is a very strong point. I mean, for instance, in Switzerland, well, this is the country of liberties, the country of human rights. I mean, they shall maybe they shall understand that under these facts, Spain is judging a political case. So maybe they won't deliver the person because they think that it's a political case. But it is not sure. Anything is sure in this matter. In Belgium, maybe they will think the same, but because of other reasons. The other reason is that in Belgium, there is also a secessionist movement in the region of Flanders. So if a judge that comes from this region is trying to judge this case, maybe he will understand, or she will understand, that he's in front of a political case, so the extradition won't be conceded, maybe. In Great Britain, I mean in Scotland, well, in Scotland, well, you know that in the recent times they had a referendum. Maybe they had some kind of understanding for the Catalan cause. It is not sure, but in any case, I think that any judge in Great Britain shall understand that this is also this would be also a crime in Spain or in Great Britain. The most important case in Great Britain would be if in Spain the fundamental rights of the accused will be respected or not. Well, in principle, of course, they will be respected, and there is no reason to think otherwise. But maybe because of this mentality I said before, maybe they would think that Spain is a country that was a dictator. Maybe this black legend, this so-called black legend, has some influence over it, and maybe this could influence the mentality of the judges, and maybe they would not deliver the person that in this time is placed in Scotland. But everything is so unsure, so we cannot know really what they will do.
Thank you for being with us.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Most of the leadership of the Catalan pro-independence politicians is either in prison or abroad. And today their relatives went to Brussels, the European capital, to urge the European Union to protect their rights and force Spain to find a political solution to the current crisis. The wives of jailed sacked ministers and Carles Puigdemont's sister went to the European Parliament and met with MEPs from countries such as Slovenia, Portugal and Ireland. They said that the European Union and the UN are their last options to find a solution for their relative situation, and denounced that their human and political rights are being violated. They also explained how the relatives of imprisoned leaders have to travel thousands of kilometres to visit them in Madrid, while the judge has always rejected appeals to transfer them to Catalan jails.
La justícia ara mateix no ens garanteix la defensa objectiva que necessitem. Per tant, si Europa hauria de ser i és ara mateix la nostra esperança.
The Catalan relatives have a lot of faith in the European Union, but while they might find some support inside the European Parliament, they got none from the European Commission, that today refused to comment on the situation despite the insistent questions of the journalists.
Tonight, Mr. Juncker, President Juncker, is going to defend human rights in Turkey because a lot of our colleagues and politicians are jailed. So my question is, what arguments he's going to use amid this situation when Catalan elected leader finds himself locked in German jail and the other activists are also in jail just for organizing a referendum?
Look, I will not enter into the comparisons that you make, which I am not sure are entirely accurate.
Do you consider you have failed in calling for dialogue?
We know what our position is on Catalonia, and I am not going to move away from it.
Do you think this is a sustainable approach in the long term?
So you ask me about judicial decisions, judicial developments, on which we do not comment either, neither here nor anywhere else.
Is the Commission happy to see the European arrest warrant system being used to arrest people on the run on charges of sedition for organising a referendum?
And it is not for the European Commission to comment on individual instances of such judicial cooperation.
So how is the detention of Carles Puigdemont in Germany affecting the internal debate in Catalonia to form a government? Calls to form a unitary front against imprisonments are growing, boosted by the Parliament President Roger Torrent. But Puigdemont's party are also putting him back on the table as candidate to form a government, despite his difficult judicial situation. Meanwhile, in Madrid, they are satisfied with the Catalan leader's detention and hope that Germany will extradite him soon so that he faces trial and jail time in Madrid.
Following the arrest of Puigdemont and the new wave of imprisonments, tensions between Catalonia and Spain have risen to levels unmatched since last October referendum and declaration of independence. Yet the situation at the institutional level remains the same. Pro-independence parties have a majority in parliament, but they are unable to appoint a president and form a new government. Under these dramatic circumstances, the Parliament Speaker called for a common front to defend rights and freedoms, a proposal met with sympathy by one of his rivals.
Els governs de concentració són per situacions excepcionals i no se m'acut una situació més excepcional que aquesta.
But not everyone on the unionist side agrees.
No puede hacer mítines de Esquerra desde la mesa del Parlamento, ni puede poner al servicio de los partidos independentistas al Parlamento de Cataluña. Y por tanto exigimos su dimisión, se lo he pedido personalmente, además.
The Spanish government urges the Parliament Speaker to stop making political statements and focus on his institutional role.
Se le olvida que es el presidente del Parlamento de Cataluña y la primera obligación que tiene y de momento está incumpliendo es ser capaz de proponer un candidato viable en Cataluña.
So, who will be the next Catalan president? So far, the Spanish judiciary has blocked all 3 attempts to appoint a new head of government, and after Puigdemont's arrest, his party and far-left CUP won again to appoint him. But Esquerra, the party of the Parliament Speaker, might prefer to elect a candidate who can effectively assume the post. On Wednesday, pro-independence parties will join forces in Parliament to approve a resolution backing the rights of all candidates to be elected.
La ONU ens dona la raó i, per tant, prenem la iniciativa des del Parlament, entrant aquestes dues propostes de resolució.
The resolutions refer to the UN's recent call on Spain to respect the political rights of Jordi Sánchez, one of the candidates, and Sánchez's defense is moving too.
Jordi Pina has, on behalf of Jordi Sánchez, presented a recourse to the investigating judge.
For the moment, though, the Catalan government will continue under the control of Madrid.
The Catalan crisis is making it difficult to form a government here, but it's also causing troubles in Madrid. The Spanish government needs to pass its 2018 budget, but its decision to suspend Catalonia's self-government means no longer has the votes to do so. Mariano Rajoy's cabinet lacks the support of the centre-right Basque Nationalist Party, which has been outspoken in its criticism of Spain's actions in Catalonia and demands the release of jailed Catalan leaders. Rajoy got today the support of the leader of Ciutadans, Albert Rivera, but despite this, as it stands, the Spanish government will not be able to pass the budget in the chamber. And with this we finish today's show. We leave you some images of a gospel concert for children this last weekend. After some very dramatic news today, it's nice to leave you with a smile listening to them. Enjoy and see you tomorrow.